Welcome everyone. Welcome to our mindful moment. For those who are new here, it's a moment we do once a week. I do post the recording, so if you miss it, you'll find it on my website within sort of an hour or two. And it's just a lovely time that we have just to connect, to ground ourselves a little bit, to reflect on what's happening in the world and our lives. And morning, Dee. Yeah, and just sort of it's a moment to pause. So welcome to a very special space for me, and I think for a lot of the people who've been coming. We've been running them for actually on and off since March 2020, mostly on, but a couple of little pauses. So welcome today to Tuesday, the 13th of September. The 13th is the number of the feminine, actually, and it's a very lucky and positive number. So somehow it's become very warped in our society that 13 is a number that we kind of fear. In fact, so much so that, I was pointing out to the children the other day that there's no number 13 row on an airplane. It's often not a number 13 floor in a hotel or in a building. We've been taught to fear number 13, and it's so interesting because so much of what we've been taught to fear is where our power lies, where the things that give us power when we harness properly, things like our menses, our periods for women, childbirth, orgasm, menopause, and even depression and death. There's such fear around this, but this is where when we can actually engage with these, this is where our power and lies. And for me at the moment, number 13 is around us everywhere. In fact, our new home in Garlington, that we are going to be moving all our stuff from this home to that home at the end of this month, and then only moving down there at the end of the year. That's number 13 in Nguni. And 13 actually represents metamorphosis and transition, which is very true for me, and that metamorphosis and transition down to a new home, a new way of life, and all that encompasses. And then for those of you who are here because you're joining us in the shed as well, it's really a time of metamorphosis and transition. So we really embrace the number 13 in our lives and in our days, especially today. And I was reading on a numerologist's website, and a numerologist studies numbers, the numbers of our names and what they represent in our lives, and kind of plots a map. And I haven't gone much into numerology, but she said, as you certainly notice, the world around you starts seething with excitement on a Friday the 13th, which is indeed a beneficial date. Therefore, it is no accident that the lottery registers the highest rates in terms of tickets validated. This positive aura that takes place when a Friday the 13th comes around finds its origin in the pagan Friday that celebrates Aphrodite for the Greeks, or Venus for the Romans, which is the god of love, and what's more feminine than Aphrodite and Venus? Friday was at that time the happiest day of the week. Friday the 13th stands out as a lucky date, one that's conducive to money gains. It's also seen as a date that allows us to counter bad luck. Some take advantage of the positive energy of this date to associate it with a commitment, a decision, or simply to benefit from the luck the number 13 brings. So you might want to take this moment, especially if you're in the spring shed with us, to really sort of take advantage of the positive energy of this day and benefit from the number it brings, the luck it brings. And our Philippa phoned me this weekend, and she said, Mum, I've been meaning to tell you since camp, because they were in camp recently. She said, we had a guy speaking to us, and he said that the calendar should actually have 13 months and not 12 months. And she said, I knew you'd love it because I know that you love 13, and you're always telling us how lucky it is. And she said, because it should be around the lunar calendars. And it just, as she said, it made perfect sense to me that, of course, there are 13 lunar cycles in a year. And in fact, the Celtic calendar was based on a lunar calendar. So there should be 13 months of about 28 days. And if there was, and if we actually followed the lunar calendar, we'd be far more clued into the energy of nature and the world, and realizing why we feel certain things at certain times. That's not just us, that it's the bigger picture. And so we'd be far more connected to nature. And for me, this is part of the disconnect that happened as we sort of removed ourselves from nature. There's a disconnect between science and nature, and man and nature, and man and beast, and and religion and science and all of that. And so to me, it almost feels like we've been thrown off the path by like, look here, look, there's 12 months in the year, so that you don't look here and you don't see our greater connection to nature. You know, like this weekend was a full moon and a very high intensity time, and a time where the full moon actually shines a spotlight for us, a little like, I mean, it feels like a spotlight is on in the garden when you close the curtains, and it still feels like you've left on lights outside. But it shines a light on us, on the things that in our life might not be working. So that's when we might actually have an icky exchange, like a bit of an argument or a heated exchange, or we might have extremes of feeling very happy and joyous and excited and outgoing, and then like it deflates us completely afterwards, because it's the extremes. And I experienced that this weekend. And I also experienced hearing someone outside. It was actually, I found out it was the DJ who was playing at the wedding, apparently at Ananda across the road, having the most horrific shouting argument. Apparently it was on the phone to someone, thank goodness. But it was such a representation of the extreme energy of a full moon. And so if something comes up that triggers you, you react so much stronger than you would normally. So it's really important for us to sort of be clued into the moon and the lunar cycles. For those who are new here, that might feel quite out there and woo-woo, but stick with us for a while and you'll see that it actually, well, you put it to the test. I'm not here to convince you, but have a look at the energy of the full moon, what happens in nature, what happens in the tides, and what happens in your energy, and then comparing it to the new moon and what happens there with the darkness and the sort of turning in and the slowing down of the new moon. So there are many layers of things happening at the moment, and it's a lot. And just want to pause for this moment to pay tribute to Queen Elizabeth, who, as I said in one of my little videos for the shed, I didn't quite realize how much it would affect me when her passing. And I've realized what a constant figure she was for basically all of us who are on this call. And I mean, my mum, who's on this, has just turned 70, but for her whole life, Queen Elizabeth has been a ruling monarch of Britain, and whether we're not in Britain, but still she's been a constant in our world. And there've been other kings and queens who've come and gone. There've been lots of prime ministers, 15 in her time, and she's been this constant who has actually shown us what service looks like. And she has really served her people and her country very faithfully and very God-fearingly for these 70 years. And she certainly was human. She certainly had her failings, but she was a stable and God-fearing woman. And I got so much more insight into her and her life after watching some of the Queen series on Netflix. So that's changing, and there's a lot changing, and there's a lot going to be coming at us in the coming months. There's an immense amount of change coming between now and the end of the year. And that's, I think if we all just look at our lives and calendars, we'll see that that's true. But also this is what some of the astrologers are saying. And there's plenty of potential for us and our energy to become very scattered and very depleted. And we have to really stay focused and grounded and not scattered. And this is why some of us are really opting to do our spring shed at this time. So we get to decide our state of being consciously, getting rid of our schmutz, our stuff, getting rid of our shit, the stuff that we actually don't need, and deciding how we're going to nourish ourselves and feed ourselves physically, emotionally, and spiritually, not just in these 3 weeks, but going forward. It's not too late to join us. I think probably today is about the last day you could join if you wanted to. And it's creating a community of support and collaboration. And this is one of the big themes that's coming up at the moment, about creating our communities, creating the communities we want to have that nurture us. So again, those who are new here, I come from a very Christian background. I've always been very skeptical of astrology and anything to do with the moon and the stars. And I would say especially over lockdown, but even before that, I started to have a fascination with the moon and the moon cycles and the energy of the moon, and realizing how, what happens on full moon, there are more admissions to accident and emergency, there's more babies born. It's definitely a higher energy time. Seeing what life in the bush was like when I went on safari on the full moon versus the new moon. And the one person who's made so much sense to me, and I think is an amazing woman, is a woman called Pam Gregory, who is an astrologer. And she comes from such a place of love and godliness. And she talks about that there's going to be so much going on in her latest post on the new moon in Libra. She says there's going to be a lot going on social media and in our groups and our connections. And she says there's going to be stuff that activates us and stuff that's coming out and stuff. And just to notice for ourselves, to pause and to give it space rather than to jumping in and fixing or correcting or I told you so. She said that's not going to serve us. Rather, if there's something antagonistic on a group or something that triggers us or activates us, something that we just want to jump in, our instinct is going. She said, just pause, create space. It's not going to serve you. Just remove yourself from the situation. And she says so much about at this time, don't feed the duality, don't feed the polarization. Nothing really matters. Whether I was right or not doesn't really matter. Just give it space. And so she suggests even a social media detox. So you're not allowed to social media detox from your Spring Shade group, but you can detox from everything else. But she talks about staying on your eagle's perch, which is kind of slightly removed, staying grounded, staying on your perch, staying balanced and looking at it all, but not becoming part of it, staying on your eagle's perch. And this is where our poem today is so powerful and so helpful. So may this poem wash over you today and support you, and may the words continue to ring in your ears and sit in your heart for the coming times. So I encourage you now, just to pause. And just for now, to become present. You may want to put yourself in a comfortable position. Some people are driving, some people are at work and just listening. But if you can, to pause and find a place to ground and to sit. And pausing is something we want to cultivate, not just for this moment, but throughout our day too. Pausing to even heed our body's messages. You know, as a woman's health physio, I often point out to people how much we just carry on and we sort of rush through our day, and we suddenly realize that we're sitting at our desk and we've been holding in our we've been knaping, because we just want to get something done. We don't pause to read into our body's feelings and our body's discomfort or our body's signs and messages. So I really encourage you to pause, to use this moment to help us to create pause, and then to access this moment of pause many times a day, so that we can connect back to ourselves and what matters most, so we can notice our body's messages or the expression on our child's face, or just what's going on around us, the beauty and the colors and the reality. So as Rumi says, do you make regular visits to yourself? And we are going to make a visit to ourselves right now. So following the sound of the singing bells. And as you hear these sounds, just allowing them to sink into your body, allowing your energy to drop into your feet, your legs, your pelvis, the parts of you that are grounding you and connecting you to earth. And then feeling your upper body, your shoulder, your neck, your head, reaching up towards the heavens, towards this full moon, towards the stars, the sun, so that we're perfectly suspended between both, grounded by earth and enlightened by the heavens. Just for now, without asking how, let yourself sink into stillness. Just for now, lay down the weight you so patiently bear upon your shoulders. Feel the earth receive you and the infinite expanse of the sky grow even wider as your awareness reaches up to meet it. Just for now, allow a wave of breath to enliven your experience. Breathe out whatever blocks you from the truth. Just for now, be boundless, free, with awakened energy tingling in your hands and feet. Drink in the possibility of being who and what you really are. So fully alive that the world looks different, newly born and vibrant, just for now. So allowing a gentle settling in your body, settling into the chair or bed or floor beneath you, in a position that is relaxed but alert. Grounding your feet on the earth, feeling the places of connection of your feet to the earth beneath you. Notice perhaps a deeper connection, perhaps almost a rootedness of your feet into the earth. A silence, a deepness, a stillness, but a strength that lies in the earth as the roots of a tree are held by the earth. Feel the earth receive you and the infinite expanse of sky grow even wider as your awareness reaches up to meet it. And so allowing your spine to uncurl out of your pelvic bowl, reaching up gently with a softness towards the sky, towards the heavens. Almost like we are being gently lifted up by a string, gently pulled towards the heavens. And as our head and neck and shoulders are suspended, just inviting a gentle softening of your shoulders, a gentle letting go of control, of striving, of all the things we have to charge into the day with. Just for now, just for this moment, allowing those to soften, allowing them to slip off your shoulders. And coming to your breath, noticing the wave of breath that is inside your chest. Following it as it rises and falls, as it ebbs and flows. This continuous cycle that is the cycle of nature, the cycle of the moon, the cycle of the waves, the tides, the cycle of our bodies, of expansion and contraction. Following each breath as it enters your nostrils, and then as it moves to the back of your throat, as it fills your chest, perhaps as it expands your belly, or perhaps it just sits in your chest. Not trying to change or correct anything, just noticing. And if your mind starts to wander, which it will, because we're human and that's what minds do, just noticing where it's gone and gently guiding it back to the breath. Just for now, allow a wave of breath to enliven your experience. Breathe out whatever blocks you from the truth. Expanding your breath, inhaling that little bit extra, perhaps a gentle forced expansion, which allows your expansion to increase, exhaling that little bit more. Perhaps even using your tummy muscles as you force that air out. So just inviting a gentle expansion into your chest and lungs as you breathe in a little bit extra. And then perhaps with a sound or without, exhaling a little bit harder than normal. And just doing this 3 or 4 or 5 times. And when you've done that, just allowing your breath to settle again into its normal rhythm, its usual rhythm. And then bringing this breath into our heart space, as if we were breathing directly into this heart space. Perhaps the breath has a light or a color, texture, or perhaps it's just a feeling of sensation, a sensation of expansion and contraction. Just bringing this sensation of breath directly into the heart and the heart space. And then inviting a sense of gratitude, allowing it to settle in this heart space. A gratitude perhaps for this moment, for your breath that enlivens you in every moment, whether you're aware of it or not. Perhaps gratitude for your body in whatever shape or form it is, whether it is free of pain or not, if it's as it looks and feels as you'd like it to or not. But gratitude that it has brought you here for this moment, that you're able to move around in this body, that you're able to breathe in this body, however imperfect it may be. And perhaps allowing that sensation of gratitude to gently expand into your body, almost as the blood circulates between all our muscles and tendons, between every cell, just allowing this color or light or sensation of breath and gratitude into heart space to just slowly permeate through your body, however that looks for you. And if your thoughts start to wander, just bringing them back to the sensation of gratitude in your heart space. Feeling it expand. Perhaps you can even feel it expanding to the surface of your skin, down your legs, down through your knees, through your ankles, and down into your feet and your toes. Perhaps it expands up from your heart space to your shoulders, and then just slides down your arms, into your forearms, into your palms and your hands. Perhaps it moves up through your neck, your throat, your jaw. Perhaps it moves to your mouth, your nose, behind your eyes, your forehead. So allowing your awareness to expand, to take in your whole body now. Just for now, be boundless, free, awakened. Energy tingling in your hands and feet. Drink in the possibility of being who and what you really are. So fully alive that when you open your eyes, the world feels different, newly born and vibrant, just for now. Just for now, without asking how, let yourself sink into stillness. Just for now, lay down the weight you so patiently bear upon your shoulders. Feel the earth receive you and the infinite expanse of the sky grow even wider as your awareness reaches up to meet it. Just for now, allow a wave of breath to enliven your experience, Breathe out whatever blocks you from the truth. Just for now, be boundless, free, with awakened energy tingling in your hands and feet. Drink in the possibility of being who and what you really are. So fully alive that the world looks different, newly born and vibrant, just for now. And with the sound of the gong, just gently following it back into the room that you find yourself in, into the space. Whenever you're ready, slowly opening your eyes and taking in the light and the colors, the faces and the names on the screens. Opening your eyes to the world as it feels different and newly born and vibrant, just for now. So thank you for all joining me this morning. I wish you a blessed Tuesday the 13th. And may you find pauses in your day. May we all find pauses in our day. May we all create pauses in our day for ourselves just for now. Namaste. God bless. Thank you all. You're welcome to unmute and share your experience or say something, or you can just drop off, but it's lovely to have you, and we'll be here same time, same place, same link next week. Thank you, Dee. Thanks, Sal. Thanks, Asha. Thanks, Trisha. Thanks, Karina. I think so too. For me too. Thanks, Hilda.
Thanks, Nick.
Pleasure.
I was driving my kid to school. Hi. Driving my kid to school, and my 9-year-old was so mesmerized by your voice. I think
sweet.
it's because she also listens to Calm, and it just reminded her of Calm. So
how sweet. Well, that's a great compliment and honor. Thank you.
What a lovely message. Yeah, thank
you.
And my favorite poem.
I love it. Thank you. And such a good point that, you know, we often think we can't, but often if we bring our pauses and things like this into the car with our children, we all benefit. It's not just mum stuff, it's everyone. So thank you. Tammy, you've got your hand up. You're welcome to just unmute at any time. Welcome and thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much. It's lovely to have you. Paula, lovely to see you from Underberg. Thanks, Mum, from St. Francis. Joe from Joburg. And yeah, people from all over. Phil, it's nice to see you.
Thanks,
Lindsay.
thanks, Nicola.
Oh, hi, Jean-Marie.
Hi, I'm new, so thank you very much. I enjoyed it.
Oh, well, I hope that you won't be new soon. I hope you'll be back again.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
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 Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Phil. Thanks, Nix. Bye, everyone, and have a happy day.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Joe.